All right, guys, another week of football is officially in the books. Week 2 is done and right behind us, and we are going forward toward week 3. Thus, we are here to give our week 3 predictions.
Yes, man, we got a special guest joining us for another year of the weekly predictions, a Discord chat OG. Shout out to General Thompson. GT, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing live and well.
That's great to hear. How you feel about the Steelers? How you feel about the week 2 games, man? A lot of upsets.
I thought it was very entertaining football. I can't lie.
Yeah,
I put on Red Zone before, during the 1 o'clock season because I got nothing better to do except for waiting until 4:25 for our game, and 1 o'clock did not disappoint. 4:25 games did not disappoint. All right. Shout out to the KC refs. All right. Thank you for that, since he lost. And then both primetime games did not disappoint. Perfect week 2 in my book.
Yeah, I'd say I was definitely entertained by week 2 football, but week 3 to open up, I can't say I'm going to be very entertained with this one. Thursday Night Football, we got the New England Patriots at the New York Jets.
A classic rivalry on prime time.
Yeah, this is exciting football here. What's your prediction?
Heart and soul saying Jets because let's be real here, Patriots are kind of mid, but it's a division game, and the Patriots have always seemed to have the Jets number in the recent history, right? So I'm not going to call an upset, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. All right, I think it's going to be a 3-point game or some sort of 1-score game like that. But I am taking the Jets in this game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like, the Patriots can stay in it if they keep getting it to Stevenson. Ramondre Stevenson's having a great start to the season. Brissett's not doing too bad. He's not making too many errors as the starter. I just can't find myself taking the Patriots in any game right now, so I'm going to go with the Jets. A-Rod threw 2 touchdowns last week. Not one of them was to a receiver, but still enough to get points on the board and them to get a victory, the first victory of the season. And I think Jets are going to ride the momentum into prime time. Aaron Rodgers in prime time is always going to be one of those things that is still a must-watch nowadays. So, yeah, give me New England in this one.
Yeah, I mean, the classic rivalry, Jets and Patriots, you can't do wrong. But then again, I mean, I don't really see this game being electrifying or a must-see matchup. It's just, the Jets, they looked better than they did week 1. Obviously, they got the win against, I believe, Tennessee, I think. Mm-hmm. And, the Patriots, Jared Mayo, the new head coach in town, the young coach in town, he's going to go through some growing pains. That's what he's doing right now. Brissett as his quarterback, but Stevenson's having a very good start to his 2024 campaign with the Patriots, but I think that Jets defense is just going to come up big. They're really going to try to limit the Jets offense to the best of their ability, and they're able to do that. I think A-Rod's going to take advantage because the Patriots defense, honestly, in my opinion, isn't really too stellar. And if A-Rod gets the ball to his targets, then they're just going to make magic happen and get points on the board. Give me the Jets.
Next game, we got the New York Giants versus the Cleveland Browns. This is in Cleveland. This is another bore fest, but can the Giants pull off the upset? GT, how do you feel, man?
I just want to mention real quick, since you guys are also on ESPN, the tickets are as low as $56. So if anyone's got 56 and wants to go watch a football game, it's open to you. But anyway, go into that. If the Giants get a kicker, the answer is still going to be no. And I don't want to be the Debbie Downer with this, but I don't see Cleveland losing this game. All right, especially with the Giants' defense is not great. Really, you just hand the ball off to whoever the running back is, because I don't think Chubb is back. I don't think he's cleared yet, but you should be fine, right? And the Cleveland defense alone could score off interceptions from Daniel Jones or turnovers itself. Defense is obviously the scariest part of that team, and against a weak Giants offense, I don't see much happening. Give me Cleveland, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I took Cleveland as my upset of the week last week, and they won, unfortunately, but they didn't look anything convincing or anything crazy, but that defense really kept Trevor Lawrence and company in check. And against the Giants offense that has literally nothing to offer, Yeah, I think the Browns are definitely going to win this one. I think they're going to win. Maybe not in decent fashion. This might be an ugly victory for Cleveland, but Cleveland's still going to win nonetheless. The Giants are terrible. Enough said.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, the Giants, I mean, they scored unlike the Commanders, and they still lost. They lost to 7 field goals.
Unbelievable.
And
they were the Falcons.
pretty much. And they're going up against a Cleveland defense that's still pretty legit, still pretty good. Daniel Jones is just, bloody terrible. And I don't see this game being interesting, to say the least. Very defensive for sure. I don't see a lot of points, but I see Cleveland, unfortunately, getting the win here at home. So give me Cleveland.
Cleveland can win 2 straight. That give them some momentum, man. Next game, we got the Green Bay Packers at the Tennessee Titans. What's your prediction here?
This is a game I liked. I might be tuning in to watch. Actually, no, I won't. I lied. But for this game, this might be a game I'm looking at down at the scores for. Green Bay and Tennessee. Malik Willis got his first win, or at least not necessarily his first win, but he got himself a win. Congratulations to him. All right. And Tennessee, they're coming off a rocky loss from the Jets. I can see Tennessee wanting to bounce back against Green Bay, a team that, against their former quarterback, right? And going back and stealing it. I think Green Bay's biggest thing they should be doing is running the football. I think they should be using Josh Jacobs to his full abilities. But yeah, I'm going to go take Green Bay in this. I was going to say I was going to take Tennessee, but I like Green Bay. I like Green Bay's defense more. I like Green Bay's offense, even with Malik Willis, so I'm going to take the Packers.
Yeah, agreed. Josh Jacobs had himself a hell of a game. The only thing he was missing was a touchdown. I think he rebounds this time around. I think he gets one here. This was a toss-up for me as well. But the thing I've noticed about Will Levis is he just continues to make mistakes. He continues to turn the ball over. And if Green Bay can take advantage of that, Green Bay is going to come into this game in an away game with another victory. I think they could win 2 straight. Give me Green Bay. Malik Willis didn't do too terrible. Green Bay's still going to rely heavily on the ground game, and that was a massive reason for their success in their victory last week. One thing about Tennessee I find hilarious is they've lost 24-17 the first 2 games. So could they make it 3 straight? It's possible. Give me Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Green Bay on this one. The game plan they went into last week against Indianapolis was pretty successful. They won in very solid fashion. Jacob just being the anchor of that offense there. I think he will be again. I do think he does get a touchdown here. Tennessee's rush defense, it's not the worst, but it's not the best at the same time. They're definitely gonna have their hands full for sure, though they, added so much to that defense in the offseason. But, Will Levis, he just doesn't come off as the guy. He comes off as a guy that's just trying too hard. He's forcing plays. He's forcing mistakes. It's kind of like Carson Wentz in a way, like a very low budget Carson Wentz, where Wentz just tried too hard. And, well, we know where Carson Wentz is now. So the future doesn't seem too bright for Will Levis and Tennessee Titans, so to speak. But give me Green Bay for this one.
Alrighty. Next game, we got the Chicago Bears, who are still looking for their first win at the or they're looking for a win back because they won week 1. Chicago Bears at Indianapolis. These are 2 teams that are trying to get back on the track here. What's your prediction here?
Chicago's offense is looking for a win, because they've flat out looked horrible, and I think they continue to look horrible. That being said, Indianapolis defense ain't that great. Both teams, honestly. I mean, I think it's going to become a defensive game. Though I do like Indianapolis. See, these both teams are weird. They're both complete opposites. All right, Indianapolis's offense is much better, while as Chicago's defense is much better. But I do like Anthony Richardson. I do like Alec Pierce, and I like the Colts. So I'm going to take the Colts at home.
Yeah, Indianapolis has lost 2 straight, man. They're still looking for their first win. Chicago, I don't know what's up with Caleb Williams. He's having a very slow start. He might be able to pick up in this one because you're right. Indianapolis defense is poor. Seeing what they allowed to C.J. Stroud in week 1 and what they just allowed to Jacobs and what they allowed Malik Willis to do a little bit in the passing game. Indianapolis defense needs to step up big time. I don't know how. I don't know how they got to adjust. I don't know what they got to fix. But one thing for sure, they got to get to Caleb Williams. They got to force the game in his hands and hope he makes some mistakes. But give me Indianapolis. I think they're going to come in for really hungry for a win here.
And that's what they're going to have. That's what they're going to have to get for sure. I mean, it's a very slow start for I would say both teams. You know, they got new quarterbacks in town. Richardson coming off an injury, that he's fully recovered from, and Caleb Williams, obviously the number 1 overall pick. They're really trying to get the gears going on the future for them. It's just very slow starts, but the Colts, man, I remember last year, when they had Gardner Minshew, they showcased a lot of resilience and a lot of playing ability with Shane Steichen as their head coach, and just this year it's just a very slow start, and I'm gonna go upset here. I'm gonna go upset. I think Colts still go on that slow start because of that poor defense, and the offense just hasn't really gotten a proper rhythm yet. It could be for this game, but I don't know. It's like I just sense Chicago pulling off the upset. I don't know why. It's just maybe it's the game where Caleb Williams begins to sling it and he starts to gel with his teammates and his players, and the defense of Chicago does their part. They get to Anthony Richardson. Give me Chicago to get the win here on the road.
Interesting prediction, man. Another one here, man. We got Houston at Minnesota. Minnesota pulled off a massive upset last week versus the 49ers. Could they do it again at home versus a hot Houston team? What's your prediction?
See, I don't know if Minnesota's got it. Because if you remember, Minnesota just lost Justin Jefferson. Now I don't know how severe the injury is, if it's day to day or not. I didn't pay attention too much to that. I just know he's injured, and that I know that was definitely a big target for Sam Darnold. Now going into now you have Houston here, who Houston looked great so far, much as to what I've expected from them. They're looking like a top AFC team once more. Look like they're going to be the winners of the AFC South again, pending no crazy voodoo magic happening towards the end of the season. In that case, I don't know what to expect without Justin Jefferson, so I'm going to take Houston.
Yeah, I got to take Houston. I mean, if Minnesota has Justin Jefferson, they might be able to get in it because Sam Darnold is fearless. He doesn't really have anything to lose at this point. And Minnesota's kind of going on a crazy, unpredictable season. So they're just all balls to the wall, man. They're trying to throw spaghetti at a wall, hoping it sticks. It's just one of those things where they're hoping something clicks. And last week, a lot clicked. If Jettas is hurt and he's a game-time decision, or if he can't play, yeah, their chances are slim. I already think they are, but even more now than they were heading into this game, if that's the case. Give me Houston, though. Houston's hot, 2-0. I think they remain on that hot streak. They need to clean up some other defensive mistakes. They need to I thought they'd be a little more hot offensively, but I think this might be the game where it starts to creep up for them. Give me Houston for sure.
I mean, both teams, they're going on hot starts right off the bat. They're both 2-0. I'm more so surprised to see Minnesota in this type of boat with Darnold in at quarterback. They've looked very impressive. They're getting points on the board. The defense is doing their part for the most part and whatnot. But if Jefferson is in this game, they'll be in it. As long as Jefferson's in the game for Minnesota, Minnesota will be in it. That's just the type of impact player Justin Jefferson is. He had a 97-yard touchdown against San Francisco. Completely changed the tide of that game last week.
Yeah.
But Houston, they're really trying to get a rhythm going. Still, they're undefeated. Stroud's, trying to get the ball to Stephon Diggs. He's really targeted Nico Collins a lot and whatnot. Joe Mixon, he's doing very good running the football, being the new Texan and whatnot. I see this game, being a very fun matchup, very offensive, very dynamic. I do. And I think Houston does get the win here on the road. I think they go 3-0.
Yeah, I think Houston just has a better chance of going 3-0. But shout out to Minnesota, man. They're a little resilient to start the season. 2-0 for the first time since 2016. We'll see if they can remain on their high horse. Speaking of high horse, man, how about the Saints? We got the Philadelphia Eagles At the New Orleans Saints, man, the Saints, man, they are, as of now, through the first 2 weeks, the most high-powered, the best offense in the league, bar none. What's your prediction?
This is a game that I too am going to be watching the scores for. Um, I mean, I think the recipe is still simple. I think it's still give the ball to Alvin Kamara. That's kind of what they've been doing. I think Alvin Kamara scored 4 touchdowns and they win against Dallas. I think the recipe's still there. Obviously, Philadelphia's defense though is much tougher, and especially if in the run. So it will be something to see, right? Whether or not how you get Kamara involved. But Derek Carr seems like he's coming back into that form we saw long ago. Back, I think it was 2016 when he led the Raiders to the playoffs before he got injured. Derek Carr is definitely. Um, I think he's playing with some sort of like he's got something that he needs to prove. That he's still a good, not good, but a decent enough quarterback in order to win games. I think this is going to be a true test to them. Everyone thought Dallas was last week. They may come out and score another 40 point bomb and cement themselves as the hottest team of September. Who knows? But Philadelphia just lost in a heartbreaking fashion. I know they're going to want to go in and blow the brakes off of the Saints and ruin their hot streak. But I can't see myself choosing against New Orleans, not when they're playing like this. So I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I gotta go with Saints as well. Oddly, they are, as of now, as of this recording, they are the underdog. That probably changes overnight, but yeah, I'm gonna go New Orleans as well. They're too hot. They put 40 bombs on both teams, man. They blow out Dallas. Kamara's hot right now. And the thing is, like the Saints, they don't have anything crazy on offense. You know, Kamara's kind of in the final stages of his peak. Chris Olave, his ceiling is still high. Rashid Shaheed is really stepping up. He's becoming Carr's favorite target, right? And a shout out to Derek Carr, man. This really goes to show you, like, all he needed was good coaching, and all the Saints offense needed was a simple coordinator change. Clint Kubiak is leading this team to good directions, taking them down good paths as of now through the first 2 weeks, and I don't see how they slow down. I know Philly's defense is a little more challenging. I know, like GT said, the run defense is a lot stronger, so we'll see if they can slow down Kamara and how the Saints could adjust offensively. But I still think the Saints, man. I think they've shown enough for me to select them I think maybe for the first time this season throughout the picks. Give me the Saints here. I think Philly, something about them is kind of just throwing me off. They're a lot better than what they're showing, than what they're doing. They're making a lot of mistakes. Hurts is making a lot of mistakes. I think that continues. Give me the Saints.
Yeah, and that's the thing that the Saints have done throughout the first 2 weeks is not just what the offense has done, putting 40 or more points on the board, but what the defense is giving the offense, and the offense taking advantage of that. I think that happens again. It's just Philly's mistakes and their inconsistencies on offense. You know, Barkley's the one guy standing out, of course. You know, he's having a great start to his Philly career. But, you know, when Hurts has the ball, it's just undetermined of what he's going to do. You know, is he going to throw a pretty ball? Is he going to be that dynamic Jalen Hurts that, you know, everybody knows he can be? Or is he going to be a guy that's just going to force the pass? And keep in mind, they're not going to have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's, I don't see him playing in this game, and that's absolutely going to hurt Philly's chances. It did against Atlanta. They lost Monday night. And the Saints, you know, they're just riding high on the momentum wave. I think it continues. You know, they're going to want another win at home. So give me New Orleans here.
And they could get Marshawn Lattimore back. That's someone they didn't have on the defense. But if the Eagles can't get A.J. Brown back and the Saints get Lattimore back, yeah, you gotta favor the Saints defense a little bit.
Of course.
So this should be definitely one to watch for. But shout out to the Saints for an incredible start. And shout out to the Steelers for an incredible start, man. I mean, I wouldn't say incredible. Maybe that's being a little overzealous. But
that's a 2-0 start.
They're 2-0 for the first time since 2020, man. I'll give them credit. But same thing for the Chargers. These are two 2-0 teams facing each other. We got the Los Angeles Chargers traveling all the way to the other side of the country to face the Pittsburgh Steelers in the Steelers home opener. GT, how do you feel about the Steelers?
I think the defense is still playing like they normally should, right? They're getting defensive stops. They're doing well. Offense has looked kind of mid, but we got a new coordinator. We're working with a new quarterback. Things are still there. We don't have a wide receiver two still, so or at least a set one that's really showed out. So there's still things that are being worked out. It is only week 3, but this is not the team I'd like to face week 3 when we still have those problems. Actually, funny story. I was actually supposed to be going to this game. That's not happening now. Due to prices being a little too high for the standards. It was actually supposed to be me and my friend who's a Chargers fan. Shout out to him. But that being said, I mean, Justin Herbert looks like he's doing the best what he can. I thought the Chargers were going to be bad. Not gonna lie, Jim Harbaugh is someone use some magic, do that. J.K. Dobbins is having a resurgence that I'm extremely happy to see, considering that he's not in Baltimore anymore. So I will happily support him 110%. Joe Alt has put the work on Max Crosby, and Max Crosby, as we know, is a top 5, edge threat. Luckily for us, we have the number 1 edge threat. Is he going to go out? So I will look forward to see that matchup between Alt and TJ Watt. This is a game that's tough to choose because I want to choose Pittsburgh, but there's just something about the Chargers that just seems enticing. That being said, I can't bring my heart to choose against my team, so I'm taking the Steelers in this one.
GT, I respect that, and it's sad to hear that you were gonna go to this game and you and your friend can't. That's unfortunate. Because you already know Heinz Field's gonna be crazy. The tailgate's gonna be great. The energy's gonna be hot. The Yinzer mob is gonna be intensified for Heinz Field, man. This is the first home game of the season, and I think the Steelers gotta come in and show out, dude. Like they gotta come into town. They gotta come home, and they gotta stay on their hot streak. They gotta go 3-0. They have, I would say, their toughest challenge today thus far is the Chargers because, boy, can they run the football. JK's always been my guy. Ever since his Buckeye days, I wanted him over Claypool that year. JK's my guy, man. I'm very happy to see him find success and him stay healthy. He's going to be a tough battle. And I'm glad you mentioned the whole Joe Alt, TJ Watt thing. Yeah, Joe Alt's been having a fire start to his career. Fire start. He's going up against the best defensive player in football. TJ Watt, there is no way you can slow this guy down, so Joe Alt will have his biggest test to date, but that will be a fun matchup. So will Slater and Highsmith on the other side. The Chargers, they got a nice squad behind them, man. You know, Herbert doesn't have any crazy targets, but they got good coaching now. They got a ground game. They got a defense. This is going to be another defensive battle. But I feel confident the Steelers can still pull out a victory. I think they have the offense to still remain on the field, keep the defense well rested. As long as they don't make mistakes and turn the ball over, and dare I say, score, I think Pittsburgh can come out with a victory. Give me Pittsburgh.
That is if they can score.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Do we know if Russell Wilson is starting, or is it still going to be Justin Fields? Because I think that also plays into effect.
Tomlin hasn't mentioned anything as of this recording, which is Monday night after the Falcons and Eagles game. I would imagine Fields would still start. I would hope he would, because I don't think Russ is healthy enough.
Yeah, simply put, if Russ is not 100%, you don't play Russ. And the way Fields has been playing, I feel like he's earned another shot of starting his 3rd straight game. So I anticipate Fields to be starting in this one against the Chargers that are off to a hot start. You know, Jim Harbaugh is the new coach in town, and he is, having a very good start to his return to the NFL. Herbert's looking pretty decent despite not having a true number 1, whether that's Quinion Johnston or Ladd McConkey, whoever. Those guys are stepping up. Those guys are catching the ball. Their rushing offense is more electric than it has ever been in quite some time. With J.K. Dobbins, they also have Gus Edwards, but it's the J.K. Dobbins show over there. The Steelers are going to have to try to slow him down because, the way he's been running and the way that the Chargers have been scheming him up to successful run plays, just opening holes that the O-line's giving him, is just, you got to try to find a way to at least limit him.
Dude, he's averaging 10 yards a carry.
You got to find a way to limit him because there's no stopping him. You have to limit him at the very least. But even with Justin Herbert with the ball in his hand, the guy does have a pretty strong rocket in his arm. So It's not going to be an easy matchup for the Steelers one bit. I'm confident in the defense. I really am. Defense has been stellar the first 2 weeks, but they are definitely going to have their toughest challenge to date. And the offense, they're going to have to go out and they're going to have to put some points on the board if they want to stand a chance. Charger defense has been doing their part just as much. They've been getting turnovers here and there. They haven't really allowed a whole lot of points against the Raiders and the Panthers last week.
13 total.
Yeah, and the Steelers, they need to score. They need to finish the drives. They need to execute better, and they have to limit penalties. This is a serious game for the Steelers right here, and it's at home for their home opener at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh.
This is also a conference matchup, man. This is one of those games. I know it's early into the season, but this is one of those games where a loss to the Chargers could come back to bite us come playoff time.
Yeah, though it's week 3, it's a crucial game for Pittsburgh right here. But with that being said, I'm going to go with the Steelers right here because, when they go up against a team like this, they tend to step up, especially the defense. But we just need to see more of the offense in this matchup. We need to see more of the offense execute. We need to see more of the offense get into the end zone. We need to see more of that. We only have 1 touchdown in 2 weeks, though we're 2-0. We got to get a bit more. We have to get a bit more of that if we want to win here.
Agreed.
But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh here.
Let me ask you and GT. GT, I'll start with you. Who would you start, Fields or Wilson?
I think it comes down again is if Fields has done enough to win us games, right? But I do like Russ's experience. But it comes down if Russ is healthy enough to play, and Tomlin said he was going to be the starter. Now I know Tomlin's very lenient toward when it comes to giving taking players out and whatnot. Shout out to no shout out, screw him. But Mitch Trubisky, for example, screw that guy. But yeah, and even when he came out to our OC last year with Matt Canada, we should have got rid of him, right? Long before the season even started. But Tomlin likes to keep guys around. And so I'm not saying anything's wrong because Fields has been doing enough. But Fields might end up starting a lot more than we think he will. Is that a problem? No, not necessarily, especially if he keeps on doing the development. But if Fields doesn't if Fields doesn't continue to play enough to give us touchdowns, to give us advantages, and the proper play calling, I think Arthur Smith has done enough. I like how he's using our running backs. I like how our first touchdown came to Darnell Washington, who, if you ask me, probably would have not been the first guy I would have called. Granted, obviously, we had other chances, but penalties kind of ruined that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, getting our blocking tight end involved in the passing game is nice to see. So Fields, I think, is still the guy until he either makes too many mistakes or until they feel it's Russ's time. And that's how I see it.
Yeah, I would agree. Honestly, it's not a problem for Fields to start until it becomes a problem.
Yeah, of course. I already alluded earlier that the way Fields has been playing, and he's been slowly progressing slowly but surely. His accuracy is looking better. His decision-making is still pretty solid. He has yet to turn over the ball. Fingers crossed it doesn't happen against Los Angeles right here. But, Fields is just going out there and doing his job, but he's doing a stellar job at progressing just as much. And if that continues, you keep the guy in there. It's just simple as that. It's a business decision that you just simply go with the hot hand.
Yeah.
These things happen, and, you just got to go with the flow.
Well, I'll say this. All of the credit, and I legitimately mean all of the credit to Boz and the defense, but Fields has never been 2-0 before, so just saying. Next game, we got the Denver Broncos at the Tampa Bay Bucks. I think we all know this one. What's your pick?
Now, before I get to this game, I will say I was the harshest person when it came to Justin Fields' trade, and I still, throughout the entire training camp and everything, I was the harshest man. I am glad to be pleasantly surprised by how he's been playing, and as long as we continue to win games, let him start. Now on to the Denver-Tampa Bay game. I'm going to choose. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to choose Denver. That's stupid. Um, Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield has turned into a literal football genius. He looks like he's playing for the Sooners again. He's just balling out. All right, Baker found himself a home in Tampa Bay, being Tom Brady's not replacement, but his successor. Who, if you told me that back in 2016, I would have laughed in your face. I was like, "There's no way Baker's going to be good." Um, but hey, congratulations. I'm happy. I'm surrounded by Tampa fans down here in Florida. They are, they're happy, which makes me happy. Now we don't play Tampa this year, so I don't have to root against him. Though I do like our track record against Tampa. Anyway, that's not important. Denver's defense looked. I mean, they held us to, what was it, 3 field goals and a touchdown. Not, wasn't bad by any particular means. If their offense was good, now I'm very unfortunately shocked by Bo Nix. I was very high on him. I think he could still do things, but he's just not playing the way he needs to, and because of that, I can very easily see a Tampa Bay win, and that's why I'm choosing Tampa Bay for this week.
Yeah, this is my lock of the week. Give me Tampa Bay. Denver can't get anything going on offense. Bo Nix refuses to throw the ball. Tampa Bay's looking great. A hot start. This is their hottest start in a while. And Baker, shout out to Baker, man. I'm actually a fan of Baker now, seeing how he's matured as a player, as an individual, seeing what he's done for Tampa ever since coming in last year, making a playoff push. I think they went to the divisional round, man, and they beat the Lions last week. So shout out to Tampa Bay, shout out to Baker. Get Mike Evans involved more. Jalen McMillan's making plays. Yeah, give me Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I've been really surprised on the progression of Baker Mayfield since being a Buccaneer. Like his play has, I would say, been outstanding. It's been on par of I would say, a franchise quarterback. The guy is just making plays. The guy is just busting his ass out there, and he's just showcasing and oozing more leadership by the week, which is exactly what Tampa Bay needed. And they're doing very good right now. And Denver, I can't really say the same, obviously. Denver's in a lot of growing pains, and they're going to be for some time. So I see Tampa Bay absolutely getting the win here. Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Agreed. Next game, we got another snooze fest. We got Carolina at Las Vegas. God almighty, man. What's your prediction?
Let's go. Carolina's gonna go undefeated. I mean, undefeated. I mean, they're going 0-17. There's nothing, or even, I mean, that Carolina can't. I don't think Carolina wins the game this year. I think they become the first team to go 0-17. So congratulations to that feat. If this was Cleveland, you would have the parade ready. Anyway, I'm choosing Vegas. If I think I'd be stupid to not choose Vegas here. All right. Especially after how they battled back, how Gardner Minshew battled back against Baltimore to the point where they won that game. So give me Vegas. This is easily lock of the week for me.
I'd agree. Vegas. Yeah, Carolina's terrible. I mean, Bryce Young got benched in, 18 games? Andy Dalton starting. Are you kidding me? What is he, 36, 37? He's old. Las Vegas
I forgot
wins.
he was even in the league. That's how bad it is. I thought he retired last year. Didn't realize Andy Dalton's still around.
I legitimately thought the Red Rifle wasn't on a roster until they said, Bryce Young has been benched. Andy Dalton is now a starter. I'm like, wait, who? Wait, is this Joe Flacco all over again? Like, what's going on? No. Yeah, Carolina is absolutely terrible. Vegas is winning this.
Yeah, Vegas is winning this.
And if Vegas doesn't win it, get Devontae out of there. And I mean, get him out of there and ship him to Pittsburgh, please.
Yeah, that'd be nice. But Carolina is just, I don't know how much better this quarterback change is going to be. Probably not a whole hell of a lot. It's just, Carolina is just a dumpster fire. They probably will be the number one overall pick if I had to guess. I mean, they're already benching Bryce Young this early. I don't anticipate him redeeming himself. That might just be me. It's just Young has not done anything. And I don't think he will. Las Vegas.
Dude, this would make, if that's the case, Carolina would have 3 straight number one overall picks, but they would only have 2 of them because they traded the other one to the Bears. Unbelievable. Carolina is just a mess. Next game, we got Miami. We got the Miami Dolphins at the Seattle Seahawks, man. Could Tua play? What's the update? What's your prediction?
Well, I know they signed Pro Bowl quarterback Tyler Huntley to their squad. Um, I say that's a joke because clearly that was that was not supposed to happen. But yeah, Tyler Huntley is on the squad, so I guess Tua is going to be day by day. I don't know. I think he should have retired. He doesn't want to. Hey, if you want to go and have brain damage and join CT ESPN, by all means, you do that. I will look forward to the content in 5 years. Um, but yeah, I think they should start Tyler Huntley or whoever they feel comfortable starting. Um, I don't think Tua should play. I think Tua should take the week off. Let him. I don't think the offense is going to skip a beat. I mean, especially when you have Tyreek and Waddle and all. You have. I think A Chain is back. I think so. Or unless he was injured, I forgot. I know one other running back got injured or something like that. That being said, Seattle's also not a. I want to say Seattle's not a team to play with, but they almost did lose to the Patriots. So, and when the Patriots are as bad as they are, don't know how much I can trust you. Now, granted, football is a game of weeks, and sometimes you get a bad matchup, and sometimes you do get a good one. That being said, I don't necessarily still trust Seattle. I think they're still working out the kinks of getting a new coach. Um, and that being said, I'm going to take Miami.
I'm actually going to take Seattle here. I see why you say Miami because I think their game plan is just use the speed, get the ball to the guys early, let them use the yak ability, right? That is if Tua isn't playing. I wouldn't think he would because, yeah, that was a serious hit he took from Hamlin, ironically. But Seattle, I'll say this, like Geno Smith had a great game last week, and DK had a great game, and Mike McDonald so far is leading them to a 2-0 start. They're on the hot streak. They're at home. Miami out. Here's an interesting stat about Miami, man. In their last however many games against teams over 500, they've only won one game. That's not good.
And that's with Tua in there.
Yeah,
they won't have Tua in there.
They just can't compete against superior competition or teams above winning records. Give me Seattle.
Yeah, and Tua, he's dealing with his third concussion. That's a serious situation right there. They're really going to have to really keep an eye on that for sure. I would imagine Skylar Thompson's going to get the start here. I don't know how well he's going to do here against Seattle because, on paper they have a pretty decent defense, I would say, and the offense is starting to get the kinks going and whatnot, in the passing game, the running game. Kenneth Walker may be back in this one. That would boost Seattle's chances big time for sure. When Walker's healthy, he's a very dynamic running back. It's just, even if Tua was in here, it's just kind of hard to trust Miami. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just, they're very inconsistent.
Here, I actually have the exact number. The Dolphins are 1-11 against winning teams there in the last 12 games.
Yeah, and that's with Tua in there. And now they won't have him in there.
I might have to change my pick. I didn't realize it was that bad.
It's never too late.
I don't know.
I don't know if it's
I might take Seattle on this one. I might take Seattle now that I think about it.
I don't know if it's a Tua thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Seattle.
I don't know if it's a Mike McDaniel thing. I don't know if it's just a full-blown Dolphin thing. I don't know, but it's kind of hard to trust Miami against, teams like Seattle right here with their record. So give me Seattle to get the win here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting watch, man. It really will. One game that will definitely be a must watch. Probably America's game of the week is Baltimore at Dallas. This is the Ravens versus the Cowboys, man. These are two teams that lost hilariously last week, and now they're facing each other, one of them trying to get back on their high horse. Who wins this one, man?
This is a game I don't want to pick, but I know I have to because for the love of football, I have to make this pick. Baltimore, 0-2. Granted, they play the Chiefs week 1. That one is excusable, but for losing to the Raiders, with Gardner Minshew at quarterback, now granted, Raiders are 2-0. They did play Denver, so what do you think about that? But now after being Baltimore, especially Baltimore in home, right? this is a game where I don't know what to expect from Baltimore. Derrick Henry kind of looked flat. He hasn't looked like what people probably expected this offense to look like. Lamar's still playing decent football, nothing too special, but he's still looking like a top quarterback, like people are expecting him to. Um, and then Dallas. I mean, you paid all this money to two weapons, and then give us a game against the Saints, and I don't know what to expect from you anymore. Um, that being said, I don't like Dallas. I hate Baltimore. If I could choose a tie, I would. If I could choose a meteor, I'd also choose that. That being said, I'm just going to take the home team. And in that case, that's Dallas. So give me Dallas, I guess.
See, Dallas is just stupid. So they blow out the Browns and they get blown out by the Saints. Like, do you want to be good or do you want to be ass? Like pick one. Like, you can't just be bipolar. You know, just what do you want to be? I mean, Dallas is always going to be mid. Dallas is always going to be choke artists at the end of the day. But that was just a bizarre start to the NFL season. They're 1-1 versus a Ravens team that are 0-2. Hey, all I'm saying is Dallas blew out one AFC North team. They could do it again. But I think the Ravens, man, John Harbaugh's got to be livid right now going 0-2. He's going to be fighting for a win. I'm going to go Baltimore based on that. Dallas, I don't know what to expect from both teams. This is the toughest game to pick for me all week. But give me Baltimore. Just give me Baltimore. I'll take Baltimore today.
Well, it's just difficult to envision John Harbaugh and the Ravens going 0-3, though that would be spectacular, if I had to be honest with you. It's just hard to envision that. It really is. You know, Dallas, I know they're going to want to try to redeem themselves big time after a devastating loss to the Saints. And I mean, both these teams are really trying to bounce back, trying to get some momentum going and whatnot, trying to get a win here. I just don't see Baltimore going 0-3. I can see Dallas losing this one here. I can see this matchup being very competitive and very close. I can see this coming down to a Justin Tucker field goal, which wouldn't surprise anybody. But give me Baltimore to get here. I just can't see them losing 3 straight.
I think Baltimore's defense can force Dak to make mistakes. I think they can get to Dak.
Well, Dak's going to make mistakes regardless.
Yeah. So, in that regard, unfortunately, I'm going to go Baltimore. But I would hope Dallas wins only because they're facing the Ravens. Otherwise, all day, every day, I hope this ends in a tie just because it's funny. But next game, we got a divisional matchup here. We got the San Francisco 49ers at the Los Angeles Rams. Dude, man, a prayer to the Rams. They can't catch a break at anything. What's your pick here?
I think due to the loss of both their wide receivers, right, the Rams lose this. I think the Rams are going to lose this game anyway, even if they had Puka and Cup. I think San Francisco just plays them hard. The fact that it's in LA, which is notoriously been known for San Francisco to take over that stadium easily, I think LA in general just gets taken over no matter what team's playing, whether playing the home game. That being said, I mean, I think you can see the loss on offense, but two, I think you can see a little bit of the effect of the loss from Aaron Donald from him retiring. I think you can definitely see that loss too on defense. I mean, Arizona lit them up last week. I forgot what the score was. I think it was I want to say it was like a 40-point score or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, just tore them to shreds. And San Francisco, coming off a loss from Minnesota of all teams, is gonna want to come back. And what better way to do that than against one of your division rivals? And so in that case, I'm taking San Fran.
Yeah, I got to go San Fran, too. They're going to get a rebound win. I feel bad for the Rams. They can't catch a break. All their lines hurt. All their receivers are hurt. Stafford has nobody. Like, they can't catch a break. I think their leading receivers now, or their starting receivers, is going to be Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, and Tutu Atwell. Am I missing somebody? They don't have anyone else.
I think you're correct.
They could be calling. They could be calling for Ben Skoranek at this very moment.
Well, they can't now because he's on the Steelers roster.
He's on the practice squad.
He was promoted to the active roster.
Oh, was he?
Yes, so they can't steal him.
Okay, then. Well, probably begging for him to come back at this point. I mean, their wide receivers are just very, very bare. It's just losing Kupp and Nakua. I mean, it's hard to have an aggressive passing attack, a passing offense here. I know they still have Kyron Williams, who's a stud running back, was last year, still is for them. But, I mean, we're talking about a San Francisco front seven that just knows how to stop the run, is very aggressive at doing that. If they stop the run there, then Stafford's going to be in for a very, very long day. So it's just hard to see the Rams even be competitive, though they're division rivals. It's just if you have no superstars against a team like the 49ers, you're not going to stand a chance. That's just the way I see it. I'm going to go San Francisco here.
Yeah, I'm going to go San Francisco, and I got to correct myself. He was not promoted to the fifth grade. He was just elevated from the practice squad. So, yes, they could steal him if they wanted to.
If they're that desperate.
Irregardless, yeah, give me San Fran. Maybe Los Angeles pulls off the upset. Who knows? We'll see any given Sunday, right? Los Angeles, it makes sense because they're at home. They're a division rival. They typically have San Fran's number. And it seems like the Rams are going to have something to prove, seeing that they're down so many elite weapons. Maybe they continue to feed Kyron. But San Fran, they have a favorable matchup this week. Next game, man. This is another must-watch. This is Detroit at Arizona. Shout out to Arizona, man. What's your pick here?
I think Kyler finally learned who Marvin Harrison Jr. was last week, considering the first quarter. In one of my fantasy leagues, he got me 33 points straight off, and was a big reason why I won the game. That won the matchup. So that being said, but Detroit ain't no picnic either. Detroit is. I mean, if you showed me this game like a couple years ago, I'd be like, snooze fest, whatever. But this game it might be very entertaining to watch. Especially it's gonna be in Glendale. So whether or not if that does play effect, I think Arizona's Red Sea is gonna be out there. I think you're definitely gonna have some Detroit fans there as well. I do like Dan Campbell's mentality of getting back up and biting off a kneecap. I think, considering they just lost to Tampa Bay and the divisional round rematch, I think they're going to get up and try to bite off one of Arizona's kneecap. This game is a toss-up. I like Detroit more, so I'm going to choose Detroit more. And I'm going with the Lions.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. Detroit's going to want to rebound and win back. They lost to a very solid Tampa Bay team. Arizona, 40. They put 40 on the Rams. Marvin Harrison Jr. has made his stamp on the NFL already. Kyler Murray, man, he's having a hell of a start to the season. What did he throw? 3 touchdowns last week? Like, he was looking good. I'm going to be bold as hell here, man. I'm going to be bold as hell. I'm going to say Arizona in my upset of the week. Give me Arizona. Okay. They got some momentum here, and they're at home. Detroit, I'm not rolling them out, but they can be beaten. And I actually think Arizona has the weapons to attack Detroit's weaknesses. I think they can use Connor on the ground game to run the clock out to keep the defense off the field. I think they got the weapons. They got the air attack. They got Harrison. They got McBride. They obviously got Kyler's legs. I think Arizona has enough of an offense to challenge Detroit's similar offense. So yeah, give me Arizona in my upset.
I mean, Arizona, they're 1-1, but the 2 games that they've played thus far, they have been very competitive. Very competitive. Like the Bills game week 1, they stuck with them till the very end. They lost, of course, but last week, they really surprised the NFL world and just blew out the Rams and just dismantled them, and that was a division rival right there. The Lions, they're kind of on a little bit of a slow start. They won week 1, lost last week. The offense is kind of trying to get some chemistry going. They're getting Jameson Williams more involved. He's been more of a superstar for them. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I know he's dealing with some sort of injury. I think it might be minor. I don't know what his status will be for this game. If they don't have him, that's going to be crucial. But, they still have the dynamic running back duo in Montgomery and Gibbs, so Detroit still have guys. I think they'll be decently good. in this game. You know, it's going to be a very challenging one. It's going to be a competitive one. It's going to be a fun matchup, that's for sure. I can see Arizona pulling off the upset at home. I really can. Like you stated, you know, Detroit is beatable for sure. But I'm going to go with the Lions here. You know, after losing to Tampa Bay last week, I feel like that Detroit's going to want to redeem themselves. You know, despite Arizona going to want to try to remain high on that momentum wave and whatnot. But I think Detroit knocks them off that and gets a win here.
Okay, I mean, we'll see what happens. This is definitely going to be one of the more entertaining games of the week. Sunday Night Football, we got Kansas City in primetime again versus Atlanta, who is also in primetime again. Could Atlanta pull off another upset? What's your pick here?
Does primetime Kirk Cousins come back and do what he did again today? We shall find out. In my opinion, no, because it's Kansas City, and Kansas City kind of likes getting, special treatment when it comes from the officials. Um, as you saw last week, whether you want to call it DPI or not. I do agree with the call against Baltimore. If you have any decency with your eyeballs, you can clearly see the foot was out of bounds. That being said, Atlanta played a decent game. From what I saw at half, it was a close game. It remained a close game. Offense did come out a little bit more. Kirk Cousins did some stuff. They won the game, so congrats to them. But I think it's hard to beat Kansas City in the league that we have formed here, and especially when the league is so high and there's this whole idea that games are rigged. That being said, I'm taking Kansas City. Taylor Swift's hands are going to be all over this game, so yes, I'm taking Kansas City.
I mean, it's not an Arrowhead, but she still might be there. It's Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's expensive. You never know. Yeah, Kansas City's winning this one. Atlanta had a nice little upset due to Nick Sirianni's idiocy. All he had to do was just run the ball and waste another 40 seconds and then kick a chip shot. Instead, Atlanta had a whole minute and 40-something seconds of no pressure to win, and Kirk Cousins, man, in primetime, he showed out. Could he do it again? Hey, I think Kansas City's defense isn't invincible. I think they can definitely get points on them. I think any competent offense can get a little something going, man. Maybe this is a game Bijan finally gets going. He's kind of had a slow start. Mooney had a good game last week. Maybe they finally get Drake London involved. Atlanta has a chance. I'm not going to pretend like they don't. But I'm going to go with Kansas City just because Patrick Mahomes in primetime, that's kind of who you got to go with. Give me Kansas City.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like, it's Kansas City at the end of the day. We all know this. I mean, it's been overstated to hell about that. But, you know, this game, it's going to be a fun matchup. I do believe that, you know, Atlanta's offense, you know, got something going a little bit. You know, Kirk getting the ball to his targets. Mooney stepped up. You know, Drake London versus Trent McDuffie of the Chiefs. They're cornerback one there. That's going to be a fun matchup. You know, that's going to be something to keep an eye out for. But, you know, Kansas City, they're coming off a win against Cincinnati, though it was, you know, without controversy, of course. I feel like it always is against Cincinnati or an AFC team in general. But despite that, you know, Kansas City, they're always going to be the favorites, you know, with every game that they enter, you know, on the road, at home, whatever, prime time, 1:00 game, whatever. Give me Kansas City to win here. I could see Atlanta, you know, being very competitive and, you know, down to the wire and whatnot. I can see that type of matchup, but, you know, Kansas City at the end of the day. Just give me the Chiefs.
Monday Night Football, we got a double-headed Monday Night Football, which I think should be more common in my personal opinion, but we got Jacksonville, Buffalo in the first Monday Night Football matchup, man. What's your prediction here?
I kind of feel Buffalo. I think Buffalo's the team. Jacksonville's kind of been, you know, they've been playing football. They've looked somewhat competent, but they're 0-2, right? Against a Miami team, right? A interstate rivalry, if you will. And then they lost to Cleveland. And Cleveland with Deshaun Watson is not great. And so, granted, Cleveland's defense has definitely been good. Definitely kind of harassed Trevor Lawrence. The Bills' defense, you could say, has steps been taken off, but after that win against Miami, granted Tua did do something stupid, but still, it's hard not to choose Buffalo here, especially at home, where the Bills Mafia is going to go out there, right? They're going to show up like they always do, so it's hard not to. So I'm gonna take Buffalo.
Agreed. Give me Buffalo. James Cook's literally cooking it, no pun intended. Um, Josh Allen's looking good. I mean, he doesn't really have a legitimate number one receiver, but I feel like Shakir's kind of like that security blanket for him. They need to get Dalton Kincaid involved more. Like, I think they are kind of doing themselves a disservice by not doing that. But against Jacksonville, dude, Jacksonville is going to start 0-3. Jacksonville is just awful. Jacksonville is I think that they can be better than what the record shows. It's just something's off. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if Lawrence just isn't doing anything of substance, really. Give me Buffalo.
You know, Lawrence took the bag and just has not showed up. I don't know what the problem is, but Lawrence has not looked like what he should be for the Jaguars. That offense has not gotten anything going, not even in the running game with ETN, not much.
ETN doesn't even have 100 yards yet.
Not yet. He got a touchdown last week, though it didn't matter. They lost. Brian Thomas has really been the standout rookie for them thus far. You know, he's really had his 2 first games. You know, he's looking really good, but
their offense is offering literally nothing.
Christian Kirk had negative 1 yard last week off 1 catch. Evan Ingram's hurt. Their defense is, I mean, like, outside the duo pass rushers. Can someone tell me who else they have? Because I can't.
The only reason this is a primetime game is because Josh Allen's in it.
Oh, they also lost Tyson Campbell for 4 weeks? The number one corner. The Jags are a mess. And Trevor Lawrence stated himself that, hey, we suck. Yeah, you do. And that's not going to change. So Buffalo's my lock of the week. Give me Buffalo. Buffalo's off to a very decent start, you know. Just, I think that continues.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting money on Buffalo, and I think Josh Allen has another great game.
It's just a very favorable matchup, and how can Buffalo lose this?
Yeah, I mean, any given Monday in this case, but, I mean, come on. The Jags are just rough. Then the final game of week 2, guys, the second half of Monday Night Football. This could be a little interesting. We got Washington, the Commanders, at Cincinnati versus the Bengals, man. What's your prediction here?
Bengals fans, I'm giving you guys a cup. Try in it. Let me drink it. Your tears are so sweet and delicious. Thank you for giving me sweet entertainment this past couple days. You guys have been crying on Instagram to my comments, so I thank you. That being said, Washington beat the Giants with all field goals. They could not score a touchdown against the Giants. Now, granted, division game, I get that, but it's the Giants, all right? There's no reason why you should not score touchdowns versus the Giants. And Washington, now, I get it, still, division game, but there's no reason for that. And Cincinnati, I get they play slow. They had almost a win versus the Chiefs. And I get they start slow every year. But if Cincinnati wants to go and get on the right foot, this is the game to do it. And that being said, I am taking Cincinnati in this game. So give me the Bengals.
Yeah, I hate to do it, but I'm gonna give Cincinnati. Like, they're 0-2. They always have slow starts, so this is no surprise. They're starting to get Jamar Chase involved. Maybe T. Higgins finally plays his first game of the season here. Washington, I think they're going to be a lot more in it than many people expect. I wouldn't be surprised if they could potentially pull off the upset. But Cincy, they need a win, man. They're at home. They desperately need a win right now. They need a win more than Washington does. Jaden Daniels, I mean, this is his first game in primetime, so maybe he has himself a decent little performance. They need to get Terry McLaurin involved. Like, they are mismanaging him to low levels that I couldn't even imagine. Like, it's actually incredibly sinful by Washington. They need to change that, and I think if they do, that will give them a great opportunity of walking out with a dub in Cincinnati. Brian Robinson Jr. had a great game last week. Maybe they continue to feed him the ball because Cincy's run defense isn't too stellar, but I'm still gonna go Cincy. I just think they're gonna be hungry for a win. I think they really need it, and they're gonna walk out of primetime with a dub.
I mean, I could see Washington definitely taking Cincinnati to the limit. I could see Jaden Daniels having a nice performance here because Cincinnati's defense isn't the greatest. I mean, they made some plays against Patrick Mahomes. I have to give them their props there. That one-handed interception from Cam Taylor, Britt was outstanding. That's definitely a highlight so far. But Washington could definitely, bring Cincy to the limit. But just like Baltimore, I can't see them starting off with 3 straight losses, 0-3. I can't. I think the Bengals, for sure, they're going to be looking to get their first win. They're going to want to bounce back, especially after losing to the Chiefs the way that they did. Give me Cincinnati right here. Washington could keep it close, but I think in the end, Cincinnati gets the win here.
You know what? Fuck that. I'm switching last minute. Washington's my upset of the week. Fuck the Bengals. I'm dead serious. All right. I'm switching last minute. Washington.
I'm still taking Cincy. I don't know. This feels like a Cincy game that they need to prove themselves.
No, you're not.
I would love to be pleasantly surprised.
You're not wrong. But I don't know. I think if they give Robinson and Eckler the ball, they might have a shot because they can defeat the Bengals in something that they don't offer, which is a ground game. So, hey, Bengals. Listen, no disrespect, but you might be going 0-3. I'm just saying. I think Washington's going to be in a lot more than many people think. But GT, appreciate you for joining us for another year, another week of weekly predictions. Always a pleasure to have you on and talk opinions and picks with you. Anything you want to say before we get on out of here?
Fuck the Bengals, fuck the Ravens, fuck the Browns. Let's go Steelers.
Hey, I couldn't agree more. If y'all want to sub up to the GT show, just hit the @ in the title. Feel free to subscribe to him. GT, always a pleasure. Thank you, sir. Rob, sign us out.
And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later. Peace!